everyone, Tony Winston here. Put a little bass with that, and I put out some videos recently about comping, but I came to realize that a lot of the charts I've seen from like big bands and in high school and middle school big bands usually have the piano player playing 2 notes with the left hand and 2 notes with the right hand. Of course, the chords will become richer when you add a 3rd note with the right hand. But you can get a pretty substantially good sound with just these 4 notes, and that's what I kind of tried to do here on the first page. Let me make sure this is going to be the first page. Okay, so on the first page here, yeah, just using this, and this is the 3rd and the 7th, always the 3rd and the 7th down here. The right hand, you can add notes from the basic triad of the chord, like the root and the 5th. Or double the 3rd, or double the 7th. But the best way is probably to add things like the 13 and the 9. Right? So you can do that. And then on B flat, you could actually keep it there. But you see, you only really have 3 notes now because you got D is doubled there. So maybe a better way is this or this. Okay. Now let's go back to F. And I threw this in because don't forget, this is the blues. So, you got to put a little elements of the blues in there, not just fancy jazz chords. So you could do something like, like that. And then we're going to that kind of F augmented 7th or F 7th with a flat 13, or if the bass player plays a B, you're not fucked. It works out fine. It's a tritone substitution, and that's what's so good about all these voicings is the bass player does have that freedom from time to time. And let's go back now to B flat. I think this is probably better than this. And a lot of times, you have a diminished chord here, working your way back up to F again. So on B flat, when you get to B diminished, the same 2 guide tones work. They're part of it. And I put in what you call a whole tone extension, right? So these are the notes in the chord, and you can go a whole step above any one of those notes. So I put that one in, and now I've got the guide tones and that. Okay? Yeah. This is called the move right here, because it goes from 1 to the 4 and 3 to the 6. And notice it's kind of the same thing here. I'm just moving the guide tones. And then up here, no, those 2. Next measure, G minor is very typical, but also G7th. Blues has lots of dominant chords. Really, if you think about it, blues is all dominant chords. All right, and then here on the C7th measure, we can do a G minor first, something like that, or something like that, and then this. And then we're just going to move chromatically up a minor 3rd and down in half steps. Okay, now I can basically take the same thing I just did and add a 3rd note. So I'm going to do that. Right, always remember the blues. Now, here I think just doubling that is good. And then maybe we come down here and do the same thing. If we want the diminished, we could do something like that. There's lots of possibilities. And then let's do F like this. And this one. All right, that's the move. You can keep the G both places. And then here. G7, a more typical G7, and then G minor, C7, C7. That's very altered there. But you could do this one just as easily. You could go like G minor to C7, or G minor to C7, and then maybe like that. All right. And now with this top note up here, we can do a little side slipping here. That's very hip. Or bum, bum. That'll be it for F Blues for a while, but I've got some really other good blues songs coming your way, including Red Beans and Working Man's Blues coming up very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again real soon.